Hello guys, S2W here as your average consumer. Another exciting week and the Yeezy season continues on. A little bit over a month of this video's upload date, the chocolate 750 dropped, and a few weeks before that, the new 350 V2 Beluga dropped. This month of November 2016, the 350 V2 continues to be released in 3 different quote-unquote colorways, the red, coppers, and greens. This video is an exciting one. I live in Canada, Toronto, and I am stunned and out of words because I was able to get 3 pairs all from different store raffles. Stock wise, I'm not so sure how many they have per location, but I have heard that most retailers such as Champs and Foot Lockers have around 60 pairs per each colorway. Correct me if I'm wrong, because getting a W after lining up for hours is truly a W. Nevertheless, these 3 pairs coincidentally were all coppers. Right? However, with my luck and some help of other sneakerheads in the Toronto area, I was able to trade my coppers for a green and the reds. By now, you should all know that the Yeezy Boost line was created by Adidas with recording artist, songwriter, record producer, and recently turned fashion designer Kanye West. These 350 models are the V2 version 2's variants with updated design and technology. The first that came out were the 350 V2 Belugas, which you can find my review of that in my channel or the description on the screen right now. Straight into the shoe, a closer look at these V2 Yeezy 350s. The whole sneaker continues to be made out of prime knit, Adidas' innovative knitting technology and material, famous for its lightweightedness, breathability, and stretchiness. Unlike the Belugas where there were different shades of grey, this round of Yeezys are black with their respective unique colored stripe, either in red, copper, or green. The knitting is so intricate that wherever you see a small gap between the weave, you will also see a faint speckled shade of the respective color popping out, giving the sneaker that much more shimmer. If you look closely to these coppers, the speckled shade will give you the same gray swirls that you see on the original Belugas on the medial side. And here are some shots of the green and red medial side of what they will look like individually. However, on the lateral side, each pair sports one of the more apparent characteristic of the sneaker, the stripe with letters SPLY-350. One interesting fact is for these sets of black 350 V2s, the right shoe has the letters and numbers backwards and mirrored instead, a design that changed from the previous Beluga colorway. Personally, if it was backwards, I'd rather prefer them to put the numbers first than the letters for that symmetricality look on the outside, but that's no biggie because of a surprise later on that I'll talk about. Moving along with the stripe, something to note is that on all pairs of these black V2 350s, the stripe kinda goes straight to the end and fades near the toe box. Whereas on the Belugas, some pairs have the stripe curving and then hitting the middle knitting that splits the shoe, while other pairs still curve and fades, but before hitting the center. On these black 350 V2s, the stripe at the end that fades out at the toe box has some distinctive little dots, almost like an arrowhead floating around at an angle. On the other end, the stripe stops and fades at the center seam. However, it doesn't stop and fade immediately like the Belugas. As you can see, it seems like it passes a little bit before fading. In the midfoot region, you will see black laces that matches with the overall sneaker color, with a high tongue that will rest in front of your ankles. It's hard to see, but the middle stitching does have a reoccurring pattern, much like how all the previous 350s were stitched up. As for the midsole, unlike the Belugas where it was grey, they used a black flexible and translucent rubbery plastic encasing that surrounds their most comfortable top-of-the-line technology, Boost. You will be able to see a few open spots of Boost peeking out near the front to midfoot section of the shoes, then a huge opening at the back, proving to you that they're using full-length Boost for this model, allowing the Boost basically to expand and become more spongy for impact against the floor. Upon a closer look, you can see the 3-stripe knit pattern on the Boost technology as well. Unfortunately, you can't base the legitimacy of these black V2s through these knit patterns anymore, because it's been shown that not every pair will have the same amount of these dots by the community. Some have 7, some have 9, some only in a straight line while others have it in a cross design. Wow, that rhymed. At the heel area of the outsole, you will see the words Boost engraved into the rubber, while at the tip of the outsole, the word Adidas for that extra branding. This darkened and sleek sole design offers a much more aggressive tone than the version 1 350s, even though the colorways of the first versions were way cleaner in my opinion. Looking at the inside heel area of the sneaker, you can see Adidas' 3-stripe running down towards the midsole. And surprisingly, it's 3M. I'm just gonna throw some pictures here for reference. Additionally, it's also padded with soft cushions everywhere around the back so your ankles won't get irritated. Inside the shoe, there are insoles that come with the sneakers that are removable and has its own color that matches its stripe. If you flip these over, you'll see some unique designs carried over from the V1 350s, and you'll also see a set of numbers that will tell you that this insole will fit in a certain range of shoe sizes. Here are some more angles of what is under the insole for those who want legit checks. Moving on, under the tongue and prime knits, you will see patches of suede to basically give support and reinforcement when we are lacing the sneakers, preventing them from ripping apart. There is also a piece of thin synthetic fiber running parallel to the stitching dead center inside the shoe, most likely to prevent those rougher stitching from rubbing against the top area of our feet. Remember earlier I told you that having the numbers starting first and mirrored on the right shoe was no biggie? It's because on the inside of the right sneaker, you will see the crisp knitting of the characters SPLY-350 normally with an inverse color from the outside, a very surprising and unique design. Near the toe box and exactly on the forefoot area, there is an unexpected inner caging system under the prime knit as well, giving that additional support and structure under that prime knit part of the shoe. Because of the extra padding at the back and also the inner hidden caging system at the front, the prime knits at both of those areas will not be as stretchy as the prime knits found on the NMDs or Ultra Boosts due to its construction. Anyways, here are some Yeezy 350 V2 fit footages. Fit-wise, they fit the same as the Belugas, and I will personally say if you have wide feet, go at least half size up because they fit very tight at the forefoot because of the tighter inner caging system. Some people with wide feet even went one size up, so be cautious, but I will say go with your Ultra Boost size. So even if you have narrow feet, I think you should do a little bit more research to see if you want to buy them at true to size. Always do cross checks with other sneakers if you can. Comfort-wise, these do feel pretty comfortable in terms of the feeling of the boost material. These are way more squishy than the current NMDs that are out. Not so sure about the NMD R2s because as of this video's upload date, I still have not bought a pair yet, but these V2 does come close to the squishiness of Ultra Boosts. However, because the V2s do fit tighter on the upper, Ultra Boosts are still the more comfortable option. For some odd reason in Canada, if you were between the sizes of 8 to 11s, it was relatively easier to obtain at least a pair of this batch of V2s in store raffles. I was able to score 3 pairs and luckily have found 2 others willing to trade my coppers to the colors I wanted. For retail, they are $300 Canadian, and like I said previously, as an average consumer, the price point is a little overboard, and thanks to our dollars, nothing is really cheap anymore. However, I do have to say, the stitching, design, and materials on these Yeezys V2 do feel extraordinary, and will definitely be nice to the collection and wear. As always, let me know in the comments which one of these colorways do you prefer, because as of now, it seems like Adidas has some inconsistent quality checks over their batches of 350 V2s. As you can see the fading of the stripe here at the toe box, on the left shoes of the same size copper Yeezys, one purchased from Champs, another at Foot Locker, one fades earlier, while the other one fades later. Whereas on the back, you have the fading happening after the middle seam. Okay, but one pair goes further than the other pair. And look at the waves on the medial side of both left shoes. One pair is more apparent than the other. Check out the right shoes as well for reference. Legit checks just got a whole lot harder. It's all over the place, but I guess you can say they're made in a way where no pairs are alike. Or you think they are just lazy with their design this time around and couldn't think of something better for future releases. Or maybe you're just waiting for the black and white pair that's about to come out. That's it for today. S2W signing off.